Wow, the bracket, the playoffs.
Mine's destroyed. Besides Indiana
Dest-
winning the whole thing.
my wife, my wife, who did the bracket with us because she loves football. The reason I married her, actually. Uh, yeah, she's like, my bracket is destroyed. I'm like, yeah, one side of mine is definitely hosed.
Yeah, I mean, it's great entertainment, but my goodness, I think I've predicted most of the games wrong. That's just the way it's been.
Yeah, it was a tough weekend. I watched all four games pretty much. Old man fall asleep every now and then when I got bored, but they were great games, and I will say that I am so impressed with Indiana. It's crazy that coach. Yeah, hopefully, I picked them to go all the way, so hopefully they do that because I the philosophy and what they did in that game and how I was telling my wife because we were sitting there watching it, we're going, this is what I would be doing exactly, right? He's
Yeah,
got that
agreed.
big offensive cornbread fed line, and they're just willing themselves down the field like no big deal.
The and the look on Coach Signetti's faces on the sideline,
Oh, I
that
know.
is I'm thinking to myself, is that on purpose or is that just a natural face he makes? Because it's hilarious. It's a meme fest. Like
Yeah,
people just make memes off
they
that.
got after him on that fourth down when they tried to get him off sides and they called the timeout. He's like, "What are these stupid guys
Yeah,
doing?
like
We're not
what is
jumping
he's
off
giving that
sides."
look like what are they trying to do?
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense at all. That was great. That was great. And then yeah, so yeah, that offense, I was just like, that is so good. He ran a couple of plays, that one play, that crossing route, and I don't
Mhm.
know. Yeah, that offense. If you would say, "Hey, Coach Parker, if you were a college coach, kind of what would you be doing?" That's the offense I would probably with a little beast inside. But
Of
yeah,
course, some beast. I mean, why not?
yeah, but that was good. So what was your Signetti and the Indiana team was my overall impression. It's like, wow, this thing's real. What was your impression?
Yeah, same here. I've joined the bandwagon. I have an Indiana Hoosiers hat in my closet
Oh,
now.
I thought about
And
getting one myself. That's funny.
got to. And in what world did we ever think Indiana would just bully Alabama? They bullied them and just took the game over, and they really embarrassed them. I think another pundit said that used that term, but it's true. They just embarrassed Alabama, and I
Yeah, they pretty much rolled over kind of what I mean, it looked like a Nick Saban offense, and then you look at some things that came over, and I didn't do that much research background on it, but all four coaches are Nick Saban tree guys.
mhm.
Signetti was with Saban, and he said he learned more from Saban in a year than he did with 27 years of other coaches. So he's an acolyte there. So it
Mhm,
was, yeah. So he's right on the money with
mhm.
that. So
I I've heard Mike Locksley use this term that not I'm not I don't remember the specific term. I shouldn't have said term, but in this vein, he said we basically got the secret sauce. I think he did use that term, secret
yeah, I heard
sauce.
that. The secret sauce.
And it's so interesting that, like you said, all four coaches worked under Saban, and that just speaks to how he's the best of all time at the collegiate level.
Yeah. Did I see that Saban is going to consult with a hockey team?
Oh, I gotta look this up after we get off the
Yeah,
podcast.
I
A
think I
hockey
saw.
team?
I think yeah, to bring his philosophy on how he coaches and what's going on to I think that's Saban or yeah, I think that's Saban that's going to
Hmm.
do that because I don't know a whole lot about hockey, but I do know how to bring the process of winning. And
Yeah,
that's really
absolutely.
what it is at a coaching level because you're a CEO, you don't have to know the technical things, but you
Mhm.
need to know all the other pieces.
I heard Rich Eisen talking about the the Dolphins are hiring Troy
Aikman.
Aikman to be a
Yeah.
consultant to search for their GM. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I saw that same thing, and they're doing that, and, I think Pilsari or one of them talked about the reason why Aikman makes a good choice is, 1, he knows how to win. He was under Johnson. He learned from that, and then every time he goes around and talks to these teams to do the pressers before the games, he meets all these people. So he's met all these GMs and kinda has an idea of what the winning guys look like, and when you think about it, it's like, well, yeah, he's interviewed all of these winning GMs.
Mhm.
To me, John Lynch out of 49ers comes to mind of what a good GM looks like. Jerry
Yeah,
Jones is a bad.
Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones needs to hire a GM and get out of the way, but he's not gonna do that.
No, unfortunately, no. But, yeah, that was good. What do you think about Aikman doing the interviews?
Man, I like you said, I think that's a great idea. I think that in his work as a broadcaster, he is interviewing other people constantly for his work, and then he's
Yep,
figuring out this organization is successful because they do X, Y, and Z. And that would make him a great consultant because he gets the behind the scenes look because those
right.
people know he's not recording that conversation. It's just a, hey, this is off the record, but he can use that knowledge to make suggestions as to who would be a good GM for the Dolphins.
Yeah, and his network has got to be huge with everybody he
Oh
knows,
yeah.
so perfect, and I think I think he's taken that to piss off Jerry Jones because he's been talking about, Jerry needs to let go of the reins to find out, to see what a really good one is, and so I think he's
Mhm.
using a little psychology there on his home team to say it's time, Jerry, don't you think? I'm gonna go to a competitive team and do this, and then you can bring me in and I'll do it for you guys.
Yeah, and I mean, are the Cowboys better off because they let Mike McCarthy go?
I don't
Probably not.
know. No, it's not it's
No.
not it's not Mike McCarthy. I think everybody's figured it out. I know I guess they say as you get older and you get over 60, men start like they don't care anymore because you've already seen it all. And I
Right.
feel like I did that the last 2 weeks because every time there was a Facebook post about the Cowboys and Jerry Jones, I just typed in loser in the comments on every one of the posts.
That is to the point, coach. That you're not mincing words about that one.
Oh, it's like I'm done. I mean, and I grew up in Fort Worth and lived in Houston, but still a Cowboy fan. I mean, I was Houston fan if they didn't play the Cowboys, but the Oilers. Yeah, I've just as a long life fan, I've just had it
Mhm.
because I came up in the Landry years and knew what it really was like to win. And yeah, teams go through lulls and stuff, but yeah, it's this drought. There's not really been a lull here. It's just been a drought.
Mhm.
It's time for a change to the back to the Landry years. He fired Landry because he was losing a couple of seasons. Well, dude, you just keep dumping forever. You need to fire yourself.
Mhm. Shoot, and Jimmy Johnson could have been there the rest of his career, but they had a little
Yeah, they
tiff
had a
there.
they had a tit for tat friend thing. Their egos both get in the way. A lot of people ask me about coaches and doing that, and I'm like, well, everybody that kind of is in coaching and football, we're all type A's.
Mhm.
We're all kind of alpha males. It's hard to back down if you get your feathers riled up, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I mean, if you think you're right or you know you're right in your own mind, it's hard to come off that
Yeah,
position.
I mean, even my football buddy, that I've been coaching with for 15 years, we're like brothers. In games, we may scream each other like we hate each other every now and then because we see something that we've done both of one of us has done something stupid and we get on each other, and everybody's looking at us like they're gonna get a divorce, and after, we're kissing and making up, like, that's just
Mhm.
how type A goes during a battle.
Yeah, because it's significant. It means something to you, and
Right.
if it means something to you, you're gonna act accordingly, and I think that's
Yeah.
football coaching. That's good stuff.
All right. Well, I guess we can get back to the bracket. We do these tangents like we do all the time, but I do love it because hopefully you guys love it. If you do or don't, leave it in the comments. If you like us like going just totally crazy 8-ball there on some of these things, but you'll get a lot of a kaleidoscope and a cornucopia from Coach Zach and myself on these
That's right.
podcasts.
That's right.
All right, so let's see what I got this thing pulled up. This first game, and man, Miami and Ohio State. The spoiler of Miami. We said Miami could come out of left. They have the ability and have always had the ability to come out of left field, and they are on fire. Right?
They are. It's interesting to hear people talk about Miami because people have said the whole year their roster is really good, and if they got it going, they would be a hard team to deal with. I read that or listened to that as people taking shots at their coaching staff, and now they finally figured it out, and they're going to be tough to deal with. They may win the whole thing now. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I always think the biggest thing for a playoff team is to peak your next to the last regular season game and then this peak right on. That's a perfect, and they are in this peak period and they believe right now. And so I think anybody in that bracket for them better take this seriously because they're on fire and they've got Michael Irvin on the sideline, who is totally crazy if you've watched his antics, and Ray
It's a little
Lewis
much.
on the sidelines and pumping those guys up. And they're playing some extremely good football, and they're playing it violent and rough and tough, and they're going to hit you. And teams that do that, that can win that toughness, usually do pretty well.
They look like the Miami teams of old. They look like those
they
guys
really
that
do.
just, man, really good skill, really physical, and they play really, really hard. And they're very talented.
Did you really hear that much during the season about them? I mean, it was like nothing like the other teams that I'm hearing, right?
No, and it's like they figured out their personnel. So they are very talented. And then I would bet if somebody asked their coaches after the season, what was the ticket? They probably simplified a whole bunch of things and let their guys play football.
Play
And
fast,
that's
yeah.
play fast because they're really talented. Just let them play fast and not think. And it looks like they're doing really well.
They're on fire. And Cristobal at the end, I thought it was great when they were interviewing and he was yelling over at Coach Johnson, "Hey, don't leave, don't leave." He wanted to talk to him so much. So that was really nice that Jimmy Johnson was there on the sidelines for those guys, and I'm sure it brings back for him a ton of memories as he's fading out into the pasture there.
Miami football is just such a culture thing too, right? I mean,
Yeah.
those guys that played there, they love the U. That's their thing.
Yeah, a guy posted on I did a congratulation post on Facebook, and I guess he's from the U, and he goes, "We're just built different when we're on fire." And it's like, yeah, you guys are. I mean, it's totally there's a buy-in now, and they're riding that wave like they were. Was it the 80s? Yeah, the 80s when they were tearing everybody up when Michael Irvin was on that team right there before the 90s and Aikman before he got drafted over there. But great for them. Bad for my bracket picks. Ohio State, was kind of the third team supposedly that could actually take this whole bracket, and they look stunned. I heard that the coach, is it Ryan Day? Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he's got a lot of Grecian formula on that black beard of his. It's so black.
It's a good looking beard. He has a good looking beard.
But he said that he thinks that their portal NIL may be screwed for a couple of years because everybody thought they should have won, and they're not going to get these transfers, and the money they spent on that, they're not going to make up the ROI, which I thought was a new thought for college football. He doesn't think that their program is going to hit the return on investment ROI for the money they spent the NIL, and they're not going to get those transfer guys. And so they're going to be hurting for a couple of years because of that loss to Miami. Now that's an interesting new take on football, right?
Oh my gosh, this whole portal NIL thing, when I watch the news clips of coaches talking, they're all talking about it, and it's what did we do with this? I think I was watching the video. There's 4,000 players in the
I was
portal
about
right now.
yeah, you watch the same yeah, you and I are watching
What
the same videos.
what in
4,000
the
players.
world?
Is
That
that like
is
every team player decided to move? That's a lot of
right. That
kids,
is
right?
insane. And I was watching another clip of Steve Sarkisian talk about these agents will call and say, "We want this amount of money," and he'll say, "Hey, I hope you get it, but if you don't, let's talk again." And my goodness, it's an interesting time.
Yeah, your YouTube algorithm on football and mine must be the exactly same
It's
because we're
probably
watching.
like the same videos.
Yeah, we're watching all the same stuff, which is great because you and I are kind of simpatico on here, so it
Right.
probably is. So yeah, 4,000 kids, and then he's like, "Yeah, I mean, call me back if you don't get that money, but we don't have
That
the
is
money to
wild.
pay." So that's
No,
crazy.
nobody
So yeah,
does. Nope. Yeah. Hmm.
they got to figure that out soon. All right, so Miami wins, which is crazy, and congrats to them. And let's bring up the other spoiler here. Ole Miss. I guess
Oh,
Golding has got
man.
the magic touch, and they are pissed that Lane is gone, and that team has decided, well, we're just going to win this thing now. So if you're playing Ole Miss next, you better be careful because they've got the whole believe thing, and we've got something to prove thing going on. So yeah, they whipped up on Georgia there in a
Mhm,
crazy last 2 minutes, but it was great, great game, crazy game.
mhm.
What'd you think about the game?
Yeah, I thought it was back and forth. I think Trinidad Chambliss is an incredible player. I think Georgia's a great program. I think Ole Miss is a great program. How wild would it be if Ole Miss won the national championship?
Oh, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy.
Oh
But
my goodness.
what's crazy about him and uh, what's Indiana's last the guys that quarterback, the Heisman
Oh,
Trophy winner.
Mendoza.
Yeah, they were not very high school quarterbacks, and they both looked so good. So nobody's figured out, guys, coaches, how to pick a quarterback, both in college and the NFL, because there's like a lot of things going on. But
Mhm.
yeah, Chambliss, what was that? That one series where he scrambled a couple of times. I thought he was going to lose 20 yards in that one play, and he came back up and hit that guy. And then he
Mhm.
also did that shovel pass to him, like Mahomes. I was like, Mahomes has kind of changed the game with what quarterbacks can do and get past. Absolutely incredible stuff.
Yeah, great athlete. They have really good players too, and like you said, it's so interesting how I see it at the NFL level too. All these guys that are the best quarterbacks at the NFL level didn't play at like the best schools, air quotes. And you're seeing the same thing with college players, guys who weren't 4 or 5 stars. Their teams are doing really well. Like Indiana has 8. I think Alabama had 50 something, 40 to
Yeah.
50 something. 5 stars. Alabama had that many 5 stars, and Indiana had I think 8. And man, what a wild time.
Yeah, you know what's weird is Mendoza
Mhm.
for Indiana. You know, Chambliss, Mendoza, and then you look at Brady, who wasn't a high pick either for a quarterback coming out of high school, and
Mhm.
they're kind of peaking. And isn't that an interesting thing? I mean, everybody, all these quarterback gurus think they know how to pick quarterbacks. And what is the secret sauce there? I
Oh
mean,
my
if anybody
gosh.
figured it out, they're going to be like a billionaire.
I was about to
Uh,
say they could do whatever they could be a coach wherever they wanted to be because if they
yeah.
knew how those guys would pan out.
So it almost gets down to I think the one of the things that I would say and tangent off on this one to quarterbacks. I really feel like as a team, a GM for a team or a college AD, you have to have a great head coach that's a quarterback coach
Mhm.
or a quarterback coach, you know, head coach, quarterback coach has to be there, like Sarkisian is at Texas, to mold these quarterbacks and get into their heads, both on training and their mindset and how to be a quarterback, you've really got to have that on your staff. And if you don't, I don't think that works out for the quarterback. And you can see with like what Stafford at the Lions, and then he goes to the Rams kind of thing. And like overnight, he becomes a Super Bowl quarterback kind of thing. Like, how did that happen? I think it really is this quarterback coach thing, mind meld. Do you feel like that's probably going on more so than almost talent? It's like who's driving the quarterback on the sideline, right?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Matt Stafford, I think of Brock Purdy for the
Yes, Purdy.
49ers.
Yeah,
I think of Sam Darnold, who wasn't good enough to start for the Vikings, but now is the quarterback of the number 1 seed Seattle Seahawks.
right.
Yeah, I think coaching scheme,
So you're
that
seeing,
really,
yeah,
really matters at the higher levels.
yeah, yeah. And so I'm also thinking about, is that problem going on with Dak Prescott at Dallas? Because a lot of the
Mhm.
quarterbacks like Aikman, I don't like Prescott, and I think it's a bias that they're just not winning. But Aikman loves Prescott, and maybe he sees something that there's something in the background for him that's not there. And if he was at another team, he's gonna break out and be really good.
Yeah, I mean, if he's coached by Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan, probably a different story.
Man, I'm so glad you brought up Shanahan. I was in we lived in Denver during the Shanahan years. Absolutely great coach, and his son, that offense, talk about Signetti, the offense that I'd like to run. Shanahan's offense is definitely that same type of offense that I would run. McCaffrey and what he's doing there and all the kind of misdirection and trick things. Uh,
Mhm.
Absolutely some great stuff right there. Kansas City too also runs a nice offense. I will say.
Agreed. Agreed. Really good coaches.
All right, so let's get back. So let's see, where were we? Oh, we Ole Miss. So Ole Miss is that's the bracket there. Ole Miss plays Miami. So
Mhm.
unfortunately, these two teams that are peaking right in there together are having to play each other. Uh, so what do you think on this? I think both of my bracket picks were dumped on that. So I guess you and I can repick here because I think yours was too, right?
Oh, yeah. That totally got I was wrong. 100%
Yeah,
wrong
yeah,
on this side of the bracket.
yeah. I was wrong. I don't take it too hard because I don't watch college football all the season.
Right, yeah, me neither.
But yeah. So this one I would say is a very hard pick.
Mhm.
I think you have the intangibles out of Miami, and you have I'm going to prove something with Ole Miss.
Oh, yeah.
And those two things are totally out of your uh, factual versus subjective for these teams. I think they're both really good teams, both highly talented. So now I think the intangibles come, and I
Mhm.
think you're going to be looking at probably a turnover special team thing
Mhm.
going on here, or maybe somebody just gets really lucky and has a breakout game. Where are you at with that? Are you kind of in the same boat or what?
Same boat. My guts tell me the U's going back to the national championship,
Ah,
and Carson Beck gets to look at the University of Georgia and say, "Told you so." Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I'm kind of with you there. Miami has torn up my Aggies, which I don't feel so bad about because
Mhm.
Miami is on a roll. Of course, we should have scored more than 3 points, but still, yeah, I think Miami's probably the real deal, and it'll be a great game. But I think Miami's playing it is a crazy toughness level and at high speed,
Mhm.
and they have that it factor right now. So I'm gonna. Are you picking Miami? Is that what you
I'm
said?
going Miami. Yes, sir.
We're
Let's
going
go
Miami. So
Hurricanes.
both of us there, and maybe one of us is kind of pretending to do reverse psychology just so I can say, uh,
That's
just so I
funny.
could kind of fudge it that I actually wanted Ole Miss. But no, I think we're both hard yeses on Miami, right?
Absolutely.
All
Let's
right.
go.
All right, that sounds good. Well, let's see. The or And the Texas teams did get trashed. I will say we put out a lot of athletes that play for other teams, but they didn't play well for our own home teams because Tech got popped.
Mhm.
Oregon played. Oregon defensively played the defensive game I thought Tech was going to play. Right? Is I was like, so Oregon's defense had what 4 or 5 turnover takeaways.
Mhm.
Well, you can't win a game like that. I mean,
No, and
no.
Oregon's so well coached. I mean, Dan Lanning is arguably one of the top 2 or 3 head coaches in the country and
Yeah.
very talented, and I think the prolonged time off for the teams to get the buys really hurts them, and because Indiana is the only team that's ever won a
Yeah.
game
No, I'm
as a
glad you
top
brought that
seed
up.
that got the bye, and yeah, I just Oregon just they smothered Texas Tech. Texas Tech really couldn't do anything offensively.
That was a terrible game. Esther had worked for Chrysler in Lubbock for a while in the late '80s, and she likes Tech a little bit, and she was not happy, and I was not happy. So unfortunately, Oregon went through easily on basically turnovers, and Tech had absolutely no offense at
Yeah,
all.
nothing. Yeah.
Nothing there at all. So that was too bad for my Texas team. But all right, so Oregon is definitely moving on, and
Mhm.
Lanning said something good in one of the YouTube interviews about like uh, they need to compact the playoff so that the main championship game is on the first or the third, and
Mhm.
that'll take care of a lot of the portal issues and things. And I guess he was talking about that ESPN had all the games, and they need to. And the NFL was hoarding all the Saturdays in December, and college football needed to kind of take those over and move those back to college games, and they could play this playoff system in the month of December, and it would
Mhm.
all work out. So that was a new take. If you guys hadn't heard that, you can go check his video out on YouTube and search that how to deal with the portal and all that. That was a good interview. Did you see that interview?
I did. I saw it, and I think he's right. I think
Yeah,
college football is trying to do bowl games and playoffs in at the same time, and I think you should still have bowl games for teams who don't make the playoffs, but the
right.
playoffs should be a different thing, and those don't have to be bowl games.
Yeah.
And that's what I think that's a good point to make.
Yeah, I think when they started it, the bowl games for the diehard old guys were still kind of a big deal, but it's kind of been washed down now. Nobody thinks of them as, ooh, the Rose Bowl, ooh, the
Right,
Sugar Bowl,
right.
right? It's just kind of like everybody plays. So, yeah, no big deal there. So, all right. So, Oregon just washed over Tech like Tech was a junior varsity team. So, not a great game there. But this next game, is all that I hope that I would see from Indiana.
Mhm,
And a beautiful game. Alabama was outcoached,
mhm.
and Signetti and his group ran a total power spread thing altogether, which is what NFL teams, it looked like an NFL offense. You're running kind of power formations, and then you would go spread, and you'd bring in a bunch of linemen at one. They were doing things like, yeah, bring in a big guard as a power blocker, kind of full back, and do these great little plays. And so I was highly impressed, and they could be a team that I watch college football for. Actually, I'd want to watch Indiana play. How about you?
Oh, same here. Like I said earlier in the podcast, I definitely have an Indiana Hoosiers hat now, and I'm a big fan. What they do schematically, their program, they play really good football, and then Signetti's just entertaining. That's a very
Yeah,
entertaining head coach, and the product they put on the field is really good. And man, they they embarrassed Alabama.
yeah.
I never thought there would be a day where Alabama got out physical like that. That was woof. Oh, buddy.
Yeah, so like Ohio State, Alabama was another one of those teams that could have gone all the way through. So yeah, they got embarrassed. I mean, I think for the state of Indiana, Notre Dame is in Indiana, right?
South Bend.
Signetti. So that would be a crazy good game every year if those two teams are always there. Indiana versus Notre Dame. That would be good for everybody. Us Protestants versus the Catholics there.
Protestants versus the Catholics. We like it. Let's Our Lady, Notre Dame's close to my heart, man, but Indiana's doing a really good job this year.
Yeah, so that was a great game. I came out of that going, uh-oh, anybody going up against Indiana, that's going to be a tough game. So the next game is, I guess we're going to call it Miami versus Indiana, right? Those are the final two.
I think Indiana beats Oregon, and I think Indiana wins the whole thing. That was my pick to begin with, so I hope they prove me right.
Yeah, mine. Yeah, exactly. Mine too. It's Indiana all the way, from what I've seen. Now, definitely Miami could continue to be the spoiler, because they have that opportunity. But Signetti, in the way he's handling everything there, very Belichick Saban-ish. He's not over, emotional, very stable. So I'm Indiana. We're both hard picking Indiana.
Absolutely. Let's go Hoosiers.
Yeah, Hoosiers all the way. I guess I'm gonna have to go be a Twinkie like you and get me a hat or a shirt.
Come on now, let's get one.
And go for that game. And of course, if I do that, you know what will happen.
What's that? They'll lose? Yeah. Oh man. So don't get one until after they win the national championship.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'll probably do, because if I go get it, I will probably wind up jinxing it, because I have that much authority with the whole football world, of course. But so it's been a fun bracket challenge there. So that's where we're at. What do you guys think? Did your bracket do well, or did you dump like us all on one side and have Indiana? And what did you think about Alabama and Georgia? Just Ohio State, all teams that a lot of people thought were going to be there. Leave us some comments of what you guys think, and who you think is going to win it now. Will it be Indiana? And do you like Signetti, or are you for the underdog like Miami? Let us know.
Absolutely, Coach.
And don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and all that good stuff. Bookmark the podcast. Coach Parker and Zach and Mind of a Football Coach podcast.
Absolutely.
There's my plug.
Dude, absolutely. I mean, people need to check out your website, buy your material, because your materials is second to none, Coach. You have excellent material.
I appreciate that. You have been so kind to me on the podcast, and have enjoyed. This is like our 15th podcast. You tracked me down. I didn't want to do it, and now I look forward to it every week. And we've kind of hit it off here. So, by the way, how was Florida? You went to Florida, right?
It was good. It was warm for most of the time, and I got to see my family, and that's a long drive with 5 kids.
I was going to ask if you flew or drove. Yeah, well, good for you for driving with 5 kids. That's a feat in itself.
Oh, thank you. It's a challenge, but it was fun. We enjoyed the time together, and it's so good to be back at it. It's good to be back in a routine, and good to be back doing a weekly podcast with you, and looking forward to doing this again next week.
Yeah.